So, to answer your question, okay, Terry already answered, but I can elaborate a little bit more on it. So, while this round is a best of 3, this is the winner's bracket, meaning that we also have a loser's bracket. So, losing in the higher up one here doesn't mean that the Team Popiska will be eliminated from the tournament at all. Nope. They are gonna get removed from the winner's bracket and drop down to the loser bracket, and from that point, they can still actually go and manage to climb back to the grand finals. It's only that it's gonna be actually much harder, because they will have to play way more games compared to the winner's bracket, and also, even if they manage to get to the grand finals, which are supposed to be best of 7, they are gonna be playing with the disadvantage. That is, the scoreline is gonna be 0-1 for the winner's bracket team from the very beginning, so yes. It's not gonna be that simple for them to just go and claw back their way there. But yeah, anyway, this is once again adaptive convergence, and as we can see on the scoreboard, the M28 AIs this time around are gonna be actually in the same team as the player. So, Jessica here, the Aeon Rush AI, and the Tel Itov M29 are actually gonna be playing for the team Nuggets in the bottom right corner. Meanwhile, the M28 Turtle and the M28 Rush Paita Jab are gonna be playing for the Team Popiska in the top left corner. And yep, we already see quite aggressive moves, and we have a first bomber strat from Jamie. Although, a single spirit from Blinchik have managed to go and spot it on time, so let's see if Nuggets is gonna go on. Okay, here comes the dodges. The bomb is dropped, and it's still gonna go and connect as the first engineer kill of the game goes to the Jamie. As the Shimmer Tech 1 bomber is scoring the kills one after another. Bomb is dropped, and it is just barely gonna connect with the engineer. And while here comes the Archer T1 mobile anti-air gun for Nuggets, it seems like the bomber is gonna go and fly somewhere else after the Selen managed to go and spot it, so yes. It seems like the M28 is not risking losing it so fast. But let's take a look at the players. On the naval slot, we're gonna have Blinchik playing Aeon, which is not an faction that I would expect from the naval player here. Other than that, we have Chap playing Aeon on the air slot. On the other naval slot for the team Nuggets, we're gonna have Daly playing Cybran, and last but not least, it is gonna be the team captain Nuggets playing UEF in Royal White. Their opponents from the team Popiska are gonna be Vindex playing Seraphim in yellow, Control K, known as Azot, playing Cybran. On the naval slot, it is gonna be Endranii playing Seraphim, and last but not least, the team captain himself, Popiska on the air slot, playing Aeon. So yep, no surprises on the air slot, but I'm baffled by the choice of Aeon and respectively Seraphim in this position here. After all, Salems are gonna be much better at dealing with the enemy M28 forces. Like, you build a few Salems, clean up the civilians here, and then you can use the Salems to lay down waste towards these bases here, and after that, you can actually come ashore and push towards the other position here and clean this up. But also, you have the big possibility of pushing across this position and actually getting on the opponent's side of the map, and this is actually very surprising. It seems like Daly is gonna go and make a proxy base here on the other flank. Nope, never mind, that is only a single T1 engineer being dropped there, which I don't understand. I guess he's just going to steal this T1 max, and other than that, he will most likely also go for the T1 or the T2 Naval HQ. Oh my, this is actually quite surprising. It seems like the Daly and Blinchik are going for the opposing M28 AIs, and the same can be said about the topside team. As Bully Control K, oh, this is the whole team of Popiska just making a push for the enemy M28 players. This is surprising, as so far we have seen all the teams prioritizing the mid lane here so they can actually kill the civilian units and then grab all of this juicy reclaim that is gonna be left after killing them, and yeah, Delhi, Blinchik and Nuggets are playing 3v1 versus Pat, Chap, M28 Rush ACU. As the M28 is dropping lower and lower, only 25,000, yep, 2,500, 1,500, and the guy is gonna go and die any moment soon. As we can see, the ACU dropping to 600 HP, 400, and kaboom, baby! Minute 3, and we have the first defeat in the game, as the M28 have been dispatched by the Team Nuggets. Whoop. Wrong buttons, but we are back. And yeah, at the same time you have another explosion happening on the top side, as Team Endranii is gonna go and actually kill all of the players belonging to the M28, but here is the problem. The M28 forces are in the same team as the players, meaning that this whole base and all the units are now gonna go towards the hands of the Team Nuggets, which is a big blunder indeed. It seems like the players didn't pay attention to the setup, and they are not aware as to what is gonna happen in a few more seconds, where all these units belonging to the M28 are gonna turn white, as now Nuggets, or should I say, Chap, is gonna be in control of this base here, and as such, Endranii, you better go and run away, as now all of these units are gonna be under the hands of control of the real players in here, so yep, no more M28 remaining for the Team Nuggets. And honestly, I feel like this is a big boon for the bottom team, as now with the... No, never mind, this is still not being upgraded to the T2 HQ. But still, upgrade one of those factories, build a bunch of PDs here, shields, and just make a wall fire base. And I feel like you will never go and actually manage to go and remove this position from the opposing team, so yes. I feel like what Team Endranii did is a big blunder, although they do have quite a few units available. Okay, this is just... Delhi, what are you doing? You are never sniping the ACUs with a bunch of T1 bombers. Okay, and it is being dropped to go and start building the naval factories for Chap here. As it seems like the man have also gifted us his own airbase to Blinchik, as the Team Nuggets is making all kinds of roster changes at this point. So yep, Chap is gonna be responsible solely for defending the top right corner from the incoming onslaught of the 4 enemy ACUs, and Team Popiska is just not gonna stop. Do we have T2 HQ available somewhere or not? This is still T1, yep, it seems like they're not going for the T2 Air land HQ yet. Instead, they're gonna go all in on the T1 spam, it seems. T1 Jester coming online. Unfortunately, there is interceptors available for Control K, and as such, the little bugger is gonna get shot down from the sky in soon enough. So right now, it's gonna be all about the Auroras and the Suis to go and stop the enemy push from actually working out. And at the same point, it seems like the enemy M28 is gonna go and fall back and start building T2 PDs to go and just dig in here versus the team of Nuggets, as the ACUs belonging to Chap, Nuggets and Blinchik are most likely gonna get, well, pushed away by the M28, as I just don't see any reason for them to go and actually keep the push going. Meanwhile, Bully, Endranii and Popiska have to go and keep on pushing, as otherwise, well, all this economy is gonna be used by the Chap, and Chap is gonna be much more dangerous of a threat compared to his counterpart, which currently is Jamie, the M28 AI. So this is really interesting change of pace compared to the previous games, where we actually now see that the M28 was, well, dispatched in a very fast manner. Okay, T2 Naval HQ have been finished by Mr. Delhi, who is now gonna start producing the Salems, which are most likely gonna go and swim towards the top side, and basically make this wall straight here unpassable for the Team Popiska, meaning that their push versus the M28 units was a big mistake, as we can see that it's unable to go and crush it, meaning that the Team Nuggets have now a very big upper hand, as they can fully command how to go and use this mass from this corner, compared to the Team Popiska, which unfortunately still have the M28 AI alive, meaning that all of these max extraction points are, well, gonna be used quite suboptimally. Now we also can see that there is the destroyer and cruisers being produced by Blinchik from the T2 Naval HQ. Though I have to go and question the lack of the Air Force for the bottom team. As we can see, Popiska going firmly for the T2 Air HQ and now starting to produce the Spectre gunships for some kind of snipe attempt. But the problem is there is no real response from the bottom team. But I guess they might be banking on the fact that they can just produce Siren class cruisers, not destroyers. It's Salem destroyers and Siren class cruisers. So you know, just plant them all over the place here and, well, deny the airspace for the opponents. And yeah, this being a Seraphim factory is a big mistake here. Because while you can use your the Seraphim destroyers to go and actually make a big chunk of this position here unavailable for your opponents, you still cannot push in deeper than this line here. As Salem class destroyers would just go and walk on land and make their way towards this bottom here, and yeah, who just managed to go and kill it, but yeah, okay, never mind. It seems like Nuggets is gonna go and drop his own ASU here with the gun upgrade and the nano to go and push versus the Popiska and bully ACUs, which have no upgrades available. There is only a single Oblivion gun turret to protect them, so yes, this ASU here is gonna be actually quite a threat to them. And one should be able to go and deal a lot of damage, especially if this big army from Chap actually makes a move towards the ACUs here to support Nuggets. And now with the Salem class destroyer nearly being finished, it seems like the days of this firebase from Team Popiska are gonna be over. So yep, killing the M28 proved to be a big blunder for the topside team. Although they seem to have more economy available, as we can see 350 mass versus 300 for the bottom team. But we have to remember that these maxes here for the M28 player produce much more mass, as they have the cheat multiplier enabled at 1.3, I assume. So yes, that mass might be looking quite juicy, but unfortunately it is not gonna get used by the players. And with the destroyers from Blinchik already hitting the field, it seems like the days of this AI being actual threat towards the Team Nuggets are also gonna be over, as the destroyers can be stationed here to basically cut off this whole part of the map from the M28 player, meaning he will be unable to use his land units to go and progress the game. Even worse, if Blinchik manages to go and build up enough Salem class destroyers, he can just walk over this base without any problem at all. Okay, it seems like Arne is gonna opt for the cruisers from his T2 Naval HQ, which I don't agree with. Okay, it seems like Nuggets and Chap are making a repush here, a counter-attack is being mounted, as the Ensigns and other floaty units are being used to go and push back the ACUs belonging to RNA and Popiska. And I have to say, this lonesome Salem class destroyer in here is looking quite sad. Just walking, trying to go and shoot at random stuff. And soon enough he's gonna get swarmed by a bunch of riptides coming out from the Nuggets. Okay, here come the Spectre gunships. Nope, they are not going for the kill or anything. Let's see. Any T3 air action happening here on the bottom right corner? Nope. It seems like Team Nugget is not gonna build any air units at all this game, which is very interesting to see. Oh, unfortunate. It seems like the Yenzins don't have any flag cover, which is very strange to see considering this is actually a Seraphim T2 army, so yep, they have a hover flag available, so yep. It seems like this is gonna be a mistake from Chap, never mind. He started producing the Lashavokh, the T2 mobile anti-air cannons, so yep, soon enough, the Spectre gunships are not gonna be a problem for these Yenzins to make a push. But for now, they have to go and fall back and regroup. Okay, the Salem class have been killed by Nuggets, who scored a really nice amount of veterancy upgrades. Same can be said about Delhi. Now they're gonna go and suck up the mass. But yeah, I really have to wonder if Riptides aren't the better choice at this stage of the game. Oh, it seems like the naval factory have been also gifted to Nuggets here, so he can actually go and command the base by himself. As Blinchik is now opting to go and focus all on the left side, going for the kill on the M28 AI. But it seems like the M28 is already producing the Sprite, the sniper bots, to go and be the go-to response versus the Salems, but I don't really agree with that. Seraphim snipers maybe, as they can actually outrange the Salem class destroyers with their sniper mode. But the Aeon ones, they only have 75 range, so yep. And considering the HP amount of them, they are a very bad choice versus the Salems, which can outrange them. So, small mistake here from the Aeon AI. Building the miasmas, the T2 artillery here, just like this one here, is a much better choice when it comes to stalling versus the enemy T2 Navy, especially Navy that cannot dodge and weave here. As Salem class destroyers, whenever they are on the land, as you can see, they are very slow to move and dodge. As such, they are very easy targets for the T2 artillery, as you can see here. Never mind, it missed just by a pixel. Okay, Nuggets ACU just taking a lot of damage from the enemy Salem destroyers, but with the veterancy upgrades and the nano upgrade, this ACU is gonna recover 75 HP per second, so yes. Two Salems are no threat to it. Okay, there is gonna be a push from the Yenzins versus the enemy forces. We also have some Notas going for the snipe attempt at the enemy destroyers. But yep, it seems like Arne is paying attention to what is happening here, and as such, Chap is gonna be unable to use his big army of Floaty Naughty to go and kill the enemy destroyers. Okay, Nuggets gonna come ashore of his own Salems and try to destroy the middle mexes belonging to the Index. Spectre gunships trying to go for the snipe attempt on the enemy Salem class. Unfortunately for them, there is still a cruiser available, as we can see the destroyers shooting one each other. As Azot is actually trying to do the same thing as Blinching is, but unfortunately he is unable to go and mix the units properly, as we can see them being stuck in the animation of, well, hiding the legs. As they're gonna get killed one after another by the destroyers belonging to Blinchik. Okay, Yenzin still making the push. And now the destroyers actually hiding minion water. Okay, they're gonna resurface. And once again, the Yenzin is gonna be unable to deal any damage, so yes. Those T2 amphibious pushes are not gonna work out for Chap. As such, it might be better for him to actually go and start building some Salems here and then move them across the land, just like Nuggets is doing right now. M28 in the bottom corner, once again coming under the attack from the enemy destroyers. Some Vultu gunships from Arne gonna go and try to buy some time here by killing the Salem class. Unfortunately, with this amount of Salem class destroyers available, They still have quite a considerable amount of AA available, as you can see the Vultos dropping down one after another from the sky. And with the cruiser still being close enough to support them, it seems like, yep, a lot of heavy losses are gonna get taken by the team Popiska. We can see the wrestlers also trying to go and kill the destroyers, although with them sitting in the range of the enemy cruiser, they are also gonna go and fall down in no time, as the DPS on the Siren class cruiser is no joke. Honestly, when it comes to a single target damage, I feel like they have the highest DPS of all T2 naval units. Let's check it. No blinching. Yep, nearly 600 DPS available on those bad boys, so yes. Very powerful indeed. Seems like there's gonna be a push on the mid lane happening, as Bully the Noob together with his ACU and a bunch of Ilshavok is gonna make his way towards the army belonging to Nuggets. Unfortunately for him, he is still in the range of the cruiser and Salem class destroyer, so he is gonna take a lot of damage from the kiting enemy units, as the Riptides from Nuggets are not gonna actually go for the fight. And let's see, yep, there is grabbing the nano upgrade and also the gun upgrade on his own ACU, so soon enough he will actually go and come ashore to go and stop the push from the opposing forces, as Bully is gonna get some reinforcement from Control K, also known as Azot, as he's gonna come in with his Cyber ACU, gun upgrade and stealth ready on it.
I am not defeated yet.
Okay, let's see what is happening here. Okay, Blinchik is dropping lower and lower, as the Salems from Azot are actually proving to be a good support from Jamie, but Jamie have overstepped her bounds, as she comes under the fire of the enemy Salem class destroyers. We can also see a bunch of them dying from Azot on the top side, as they're gonna come under fire from Blinchik units. So big mistake. And now when they're gonna try to run away, they're gonna take even more damage. Now we can see there is some flak available for Blinchik, as he have the Ascendants available, most likely gifted to him by the teammates. So yes, it seems like the whole left flank is gonna go and actually fall down in a matter of a few minutes, as Blinchik's army seems unstoppable. We have the Salem class destroyers as the main force, and with the support of the hover flag, there is just no way to go and stop this. There is still some Serenity artillery available for the M28, but unfortunately it is not gonna be enough to go and kill all of the Salems. Going to the mid lane, it seems like Vindex is actually gonna go and opt for a push towards the top side, recognizing that the mid lane, that this choke point here, which Nuggets is defending, is not gonna get broken that easily. As the M28 Jamie is most likely gonna explode here, and yes, kaboom baby! Last M28 player is out of the game. And now it is gonna be basically a child's play to go and clean up the trash here in the bottom left corner, to keep the push going for Blinching, and who knows, after he cleans up the mess here, I can only assume that all the 16 destroyers, they are gonna walk towards the top side to go and push versus the forces belonging to us, as he only have but a bunch of ships remaining alive. Okay, the wrestlers from Endranii are gonna make the beeline for the top side, where it seems that the push from Vindex is unfortunately not gonna work out, as you can see the Salems already being parked around this part here of the map, from which they can basically make this part a no man's land for the enemy units. At the same time, it seems like Azot have overstepped his bonds, as he have been caught out by the forces belonging to Vindex. His ACU dropping lower and lower, as you can see the Gatling guns on the Riptides ripping a new one to the ACU belonging to the red player, but yet fortunately it seems like there is nowhere enough luck available, and as such the wrestlers belonging to Endranii are gonna save the skin of the man known as Azot. And yep, the cruisers here are unfortunately not gonna break the base belonging to Chap. Even more so as the man is starting to build the T2 artillery emplacement, so yes. The Seraphim is just no good when it comes to sieging this kind of fire bases. Especially in this scenario of the game. So this is why I much more prefer the Cybran destroyers over anything else. And I really find it quite funny how this factory here is just exchanging hands from one player to another. At this point I feel like everyone in the team of Nuggets had control over it. And yes, just like I was guessing, the big army from Blinchik is not gonna stop after eradicating the M28. And instead, they're gonna go and lay down their sights on the base and naval fleet belonging to Control K. As we can see them making the push as the ships, the destroyers, the Salem class are dropping down one after another, be it the units belonging to Blinchik or the units of Azot. As the war is just raging on. But the problem is, there is nowhere enough firepower remaining in the hands of Control K to go and stop the big army of Blinchik from just eradicating him. Although it seems like there is some support coming here, as we have the Restorers making a push for the other Salems, which still didn't make it to the flak range, but yeah. It seems like the flak is fast enough as the reactions from Blinchik are on point. So while Endranii was playing very sneaky with Popiska here to go and actually move around the enemy flak, he's still gonna get caught. And as such, this sneaky move is gonna turn into a horrible, terrible machination, as not only is Mas gonna get delivered to the doorstep of Blinchik, but also he's gonna lose 65% of his air force. As such, the man won't have enough to go and defend himself from the oncoming threats. Chap still doing quite fine on the top side. As the gifted base from the M28 is really proving to be valuable. Honestly, this might be the mistake that, well, costed Team Popiska the game. I feel like this is where the game just slipped out of control for them, as Chap just did such a good job at, well, protecting the remnants of the M28 base. Meanwhile, the team Nuggets waited with killing of the M28 players after they were actually sure they can go and clean up the mess and swoop in with a bunch of engineers to reclaim the base and, well, start rebuilding it under their own control. And yes, Blinchik is not stopping. While Popiska might be trying to go and get some kills here and there with the Restorers, it seems like Delhi started building the ASF forces. As we can see, the Cybran Geminis, or Gemini, just shooting down all of the opposing Restorers. And sorry for my voice cracking here, but yeah, with this stream taking so long on the first day, my voice is just bound to, well, suffer a little bit, so sorry for that. But yes, just look at this. There is no chance for the Team Azot to go and break the siege which is right now being laid down by the forces belonging to Blinchik. There is some Zuis being now produced by the Vindex to go and actually try to go and stem the bleeding, but unfortunately, I'm afraid to say this is not gonna be nowhere enough to go and stop this big army belonging to Blinchik, as not only he have the Salem class destroyers, he also brought in some blazes to go and protect the Salems from being swarmed over by a T1 spam units. So yes, with this big army now here on the shoreline, it's gonna be very, very hard. I say it is impossible to go and stop Team Nuggets from actually winning this game right now. Unless there is some kind of snipe attempt happening or something, I don't think that they can actually win this. As I see no T4... Okay, maybe an Ahwasa, no. Ahwasa won't work. It won't work because they just lost all of the Restorers. There also comes the T3 drop. As you can see, Chap is playing cheeky here. The Autumns are gonna get dropped, and now they're gonna go in and kill the T3 Mexes belonging to the team Popiska, as now there is also an air push happening from the Delhi to go and clean up the airspace once again, and as you can see the enemy Restorers dropping down dead one after another. Even the Corona ASF are not gonna be enough to go and stop this. Wait, there is a T4 experimental unit finished, and it's going straight for the chopped ACU, as there is nothing to go and stop the GC from sniping down our little friend here. He fought valiantly, but the GC was just too much to handle on this part of the map for him. But still, that was amazing plays from this man here, actually managing to go and secure this whole base here, and not allowing the opposing team to grab control over it. Is what actually allowed the Team Nuggets to win this game, because I don't see any way for the Team Popiska to go and, well, grab the victory. So yes, even now, Vindex trying to go and move his ASU, throwing over charges one after another, pushing with his remaining T3 land forces versus the big army of Blinchik. But yep, there is not enough units available, as the Autumns are dying one after another. And the only man left alive is Bullied as the Noob, which is now gonna get, well, maimed by the enemy units. As we can see his ACU dropping down to 5,000 HP, 4,000 HP, 3,000 HP, and kaboom, baby, here goes the ACU. And next target is gonna be Control K, as his ACU is also now the lonesome target, which is gonna explode in a fiery ion explosion, as his Cybran ACU is no more. Now there is only 2 more players remaining. That is gonna be the Popiska and Endranii. But Popiska is gonna come ashore and get popped by the enemy Percivals, as they just one-shot the poor man. And now with the Control K from Endranii, it is a GG well played to the Team Nuggets, who wins this round and advances to the round number 2 of the winner's bracket. Meanwhile, Team Popiska still is not eliminated, but they are gonna have a much harder time coming back to the grand finals, as they will have to go and fight their way through the wall loser bracket.